Hey everyone, a few of you requested I do some tutorials, some sculpting videos and stuff, so I'm going to do something similar to that today, I suppose. I'm going to work on my crab claw, which is for a project I really haven't announced yet. It might be a project, might not. Something I'm playing with. I got the basic shape formed over some foil because I want it to be hollow, and I've formed and fit the main claw with the finger portion of it, which goes like that. Apparently, I don't know. I don't eat a whole lot of lobster. I don't really particularly like it. So anyway, what I'm going to be doing here is detailing it. This isn't going to be like a formal video. I'm just going to be kind of working, and I'll try to talk while I'm working, and you guys can watch. So let's have at it. I've got my reference on my computer screen to my left. Sculpting tools all over the place. Tea to my right because I drink a lot of tea. So I'm going to start adding some detail here. I make a lot of small detail items. I tend to only have two hands, so I'll end up pressing stuff on the table, forming stuff if I'm holding other things. I'm working with two different types of clay here. I'm working with all of it's super Sculpey, but one of it is a mixture of regular super Sculpey. It's the beige colored stuff. This it's more of a skin tone, and I mix it with black and white to get a gray color based on the smelly bug tutorial that you can Google. And I also this mixture in particular I'm working with is a mixture of the medium blend super Sculpey and my regular mix. I ordered a bunch of the medium blend stuff, and I'm not 100% sure how I feel about it. I was expecting it to be a little denser than my normal mix, not as dense as the firm mix, which is seemingly impossible to work with. But even this is still, I don't know. I mean, I got it fresh, it's been sitting around for a while, but still, it shouldn't be this hard. I feel like even when it's been conditioned and I've worked with it a bit. So I'm taking I add those balls to the side here. The mixture I'm working with anyway is a mixture of the two, so I get a little bit of a firmer mix. So I take those half spheres I formed and I'm blending them into the side with this wooden tool. I have certain tools that I use more than others. This is one of the rare ones that I didn't make myself. I have a lot of my own sculpting tools I've made because, I don't know, the stuff you see at the store, it's kind of expensive and there's not really a whole lot different between it and what you could do on your own. So, that looks right, I guess. So the wooden tools are nice. They tend to grab the clay a little more for moving stuff around. Metal tools are also good because they are better at smoothing. So really, you just kind of pick the tool that's best for the application. When I need to move bits of clay around, I use the wooden tools, sharp or blunt or whatever, and for finer details, harder cuts, and really smoothing, I will use the metal tools. And by metal tools, I mean dental tool type stuff, brass pipe, brass rod, whatever works for the situation, really. I've also got tools that I've made out of a lot of tools are made out of dowel rod. This is a airsoft BB on the end of a pencil sharpener sharpened dowel rod, and the other end is an acrylic sphere. And I have several sizes of these I've made. And they're also good for smoothing stuff out. A lot of it, use your fingers too to get in there and pull clay around and smooth stuff. It takes time. I kind of get lost doing this and totally lose track of time, which, you know, in some ways is great. In other ways, when you have other stuff you got to be doing, not so much. Alright, so I need to join these two pieces. I don't want to make this two separate pieces for this claw. So I'm going to join them together, roughing up the two ends, and kind of, you know, wiggling it to kind of smush it together here. I don't want to push too hard because I have the shapes done already. But I could also take one of my wooden tools and get in there and kind of move the clay around so that it connects inside the crack. Because I do want a little bit of an opening for now, until I start adding the cartilage and the lobster meat or whatever that is. This is weird. I feel like I'm talking to myself. And for the moment, until I publish this, I am. Okay. So I'm blending this in using a wooden tool because it moves the clay around more. And I'm just taking bits of clay from the claw and pushing it down into there. And I can add more, take more away, and we'll do that often. Especially when making a character. Alright, so I got that attached in there pretty good. I'm sure I could rip it apart easily. So I'll be careful. Let's see. According to the reference, it looks like there's little spikes on. I added some spikes along the backside here, mostly by pulling the clay and shaping around. They're rough for now. I'll clean them up later because I keep, you know, there's no sense doing them perfect yet now because I keep messing them up. Let's see. There's also, in addition to the spike, there's a little piece that comes from the finger claw. I don't know what it's called yet. I didn't really look up that part of it. But there's a little piece that comes from this to here in this knuckle area. So I'm making a couple little flat balls here and eyeballing everything so I can form that together. And I'll take my wooden tool and start blending this in. Having good reference is always essential. I keep looking to my left here, to my computer. Yeah, especially if it's something you're not 100% familiar with, like lobster. Alright, a little bit, and then I'll start forming this around here. I think my camera cuts off at 15 minutes of video, so pretty soon here I'll have to stop this so I can show you guys how I'm going to start adding the texture. And I don't like how that blended. I need to pull this down a little more. It's too bumped up, it's too pronounced. There we go. I'll do that on the other side as well. And you can see I'm using the metal tool here to smooth it. Later on I'll use some alcohol or some odorless terpenoid, the Weber brand. And both of those will blend this in different ways. They're great for smoothing. Sculpey. The alcohol dries quicker, leaves the surface a little drier as well. So it's great for quick little, finger smoothing or tooling. For texturing and the final finish, I like to use the odorless terpenoid because it leaves the surface a little tackier, takes longer to dry. It's all experience, it's all you kind of figure out what's going to work best for what situation. Just like I think I've already used 10 different tools here based on what I need, what I'm trying to do. So I've got that part done, and this could be, you know, be smoothing that in more to make it look like it belongs. And I can completely lose track of time doing this though, and next thing I know it'll be 2 hours later and I'm still working on part of this claw, and there's other stuff I need to do. Alright, so I blended that little knuckle in. Now I added some preliminary little teeth, I don't know, claw, razor, saw-like edges to the inside of the claws here. But then after I looked at the reference, that's not really how it is for the most part. It's a little smoother. That's great for now though. That texture will work while I start adding in the weird, looks like it has weird little round teeth for the claws. So I'll make some little tube like things, and I'm going to use the softer clay for that. That'll be easier to blend in. And it's slightly lighter in color. It's just how the mixes are. Alright, so make a little rod here with a rounded end, and I can start smushing that in there. The two don't always want to stick to each other as well as they'll stick to themselves, but they will blend and bake nicely. And so I'll take the wooden tools here, start blending them in. And realize that that claw doesn't have that part. It's the other side, of course. And I hear one of my kids yelling upstairs. It's kind of nice being away from that. Tweenage girl. Gotta love the drama. Okay, so I'll add some of that later. The last thing I want to show for now, for this video, is texture. The texture looks a little pockmarked. So I have a pin, one of those plastic straight pins for sewing, and I have it embedded into more dowel rod. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that and I'm just going to keep tapping, different pressures as I'm tapping, some light, some heavy. That's going to get me the mottled pockmarkedness. After that, I'll take a brush and I'll dip it in some alcohol or other stuff, brush over it. That'll smooth away the fingerprints, smooth around the texture a bit. Bake it, then I'll start removing all of this. So let's see. One other thing that's really handy to have when you're sculpting is just a spare box cutter. And these are great because you can use them to they cut the clay perfectly, and you don't really have to worry about them getting dull. Since this is going to be like a half ripped off broken claw, I'll be pulling some of this edge off, and that's why I want it hollowed out. So that's it for now. So wooden tools, metal tools, texturing, and this is just general. I can go over more stuff later if you have questions. So that's it. Thanks. Bye.